Good day. Well, this is the last official day of 2022, and I'm not going to go through the usual nonsense that people go through by, well, that was the worst year, because the idea that somehow something is going to change because there's a new number, I never understood that, and I'm not going to play that, and I'm not going to play the old, resolutions and all this kind of stuff, but I will, in a rather somewhat truncated version, go through some observations which I want you to understand, and a lot of people are not going to like because, again, as I've been saying, I don't fit in. I simply don't fit in, and I like it like that. Wouldn't have it any other way, okay? Let's start off in no particular order with some predictions that you should watch for. First and foremost, in fact, the best thing to do is to watch the my Twitter feed, which is by far the best way to chronicle what I'm doing. And people they go berserk because of the fact that they have these, I don't know what it is. I'm not really sure. People look to ideas, and folks, I guess the way they look at sports teams, they have their own favorites or whatever, I don't know. But they get very, very, very upset. And one thing I've noticed, which is so interesting to note, there's my link right there, is that, again, for reasons I shan't understand, people have this thing about Tulsi Gabbard. And 2023 will see the emergence of Tulsi Gabbard as the mistress of the obvious and indubitably evident on theoretically conservative platforms, where she will wow the masses with mind-boggling suggestions, such as that freedom comes from God and evil is bad. One after another, people will just, oh, this is fantastic. It's almost like Rex Humbard meets Irving R. Levine, I guess. 2023 will see a government building in Washington renamed for Ray Epps, the Don King and Bill Graham of January 6th, which is fantastic. Next, I predict that 2023 will see the official rebranding of the Drudge Report as the official PR mouthpiece for the shadow government sock puppet media, with not the slightest concern of where Matt Drudge is, whatever happened to Matt Drudge, whether he's still alive. The Drudge Report is now the go-to site of record for reset propaganda. Next, there's something interesting. There's this wonderful little kind of a sideline. There's a fellow, Tate, a fellow who was detained in Romania for rape, human trafficking, pizza boxes, and he is getting into a classic micturition match with Greta Thunberg. In 2023, we'll see the repackaging and collective reacquaintance of and with Greta Thunberg, whose public image and persona are being recrafted and redesigned. You'll see this flat affect, strange and oddly odd little girl turn into the Don Rickles of the Carbon set. I mean, she is just now. I mean, and I'm with Greta on this one, because I hate these blowhards and people who all of a sudden, And by the way, you can always say, and I'm sorry to say this, you can always see where your boyfriend Tucker will always fall for this. If it's an overtly masculine, quote unquote, guy, he just loves them. Meat eaters and hunters and boxers, and you know what I mean? Enough said. 2023 will see CNN go the way of New Coke, the Edsel, and lime green leisure suits, with the dutiful and obeisant Chris Licht identified as the Hatchet Man, when in fact he was nothing but an executioner hired by Zaslav to shutter this engine of irrelevance known as CNN. Carrie Lake is perceived as being a loon. 2023 will see the reconsideration of individuals alleging election shenanigans as the new conspiracy theorist, to be maligned and ridiculed as possessing some form of detached, imbecilic, and lunatic inability to appreciate reality. You're going to see the denier status move into this really lunatic fringe. Here was interesting. This is from the Daily Caller. Unlike prior generations, analysis shows millennials are not getting more conservative. 2023 will see the devolution of normal psychosocial development and progress on the part of millennials and Gen Z infantile yammering crybabies. The reason? Choreographed and deliberately celebrated self-induced behavioral disorders and personality degradation. This is something that will be elevated, that will be considered fashionable, and people will love it and they will enjoy it immensely. Next, again, follow along. 2023 will see new versions of the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, declare Donald Trump fixation as a form of sexual deviation and paraphilia. The attention to everything about this man will be explained as an idiopathic depravity, heretofore unknown and unimagined in human psychopathology. Look at this one little section from Drudge. 6 years of Trump tax returns released by House Ways and Means. How did he pay so little for so long? Because he followed the law. You're not supposed to pay a lot of tax if you can legally avoid it versus evade it. Trump's main holding company racked up over $300 million in losses. Okay, China bank account. All right. The newly relevant relationship between the Don and Sunset Boulevard. Well, would you like to know how much? You know that Amazon's losing tons of cash. You know that, right? Amazon? You know that? Amazon doesn't make any money. Not with Amazon, delivery and all that stuff. It makes money through cloud stuff and others, but they don't make money. They don't make money on this. Think about anything you buy. We bought one time. We got this little box. I got little vitamins, little box. Came. Those vitamins, there was no markup. I paid for it. There was no markup. I wasn't paying more than anything else. The box, the transportation, they're not making money. That's why Amazon's not paying taxes or very little. So this goes to show you the unsophistication. And by the way, when you look at some of these tax returns, I can look at your taxes and I can say, well, you saw this. You know what Warren Buffett taxes say? His, personal, I don't know, he makes what, $200,000 a year, something like that? I don't know. Come on, you're smarter than that. You know you're smarter than that. Stop it. For God's sake, stop it. Anyway, let's move on. Got some other good stuff here. Follow with me, children. Next, there's a story about the Washington Post. A tiny paper broke the George Santos story. 2023 will see not a peep about the Biden crime family, the rancid soul of the spawn Hunter Biden, or anything to do with the incomprehensible level of corruption at the highest levels of the DNC. But there will be loads of talk about Santos, thanks, of course, to Lily Munster, your girlfriend, Tulsi Gabbard, who went on Fox and said, ooh, I can be the one? Yes. Ooh, this is great. Thanks, Tulsi. Thanks for... You should have ignored him, but she can't... The warmth of the Klieg light. Ooh, stardom. Oh, no. Whatever. I'll do. You want me to trash Trump next? Yeah, okay. Is the Catholic Church rethinking contraception? 2023. 2023 will see a recalibration of what was considered a conservative mainstay in that of the Vatican. People will recognize immediately why Bergoglio, Frank, was selected. The first non-European, and wait for it, Jesuit. Is this starting to make sense? By the way, remember, he's the first Latin American pontiff, the first Jesuit, the first Francis, and the first non-European in over 1,272 years. The last time a non-European led the Roman Catholic Church was 741, and that was Gregory III, born in Syria. Remember also, the Vatican has as much to do with Catholicism as Federal Express has to do with the federal government. Just want to let you know about that. If you think the Vatican is about Catholicism, you must think the monarchy in England is about Chuck. Steven Tyler accused of sexual assault of a minor from the 70s. Now, this is something which is very, very, this I'm going to try to bring to your attention, and nobody certainly will get it, nobody. Over a decade ago, this is, she was 16 years old, this is in the mid-1970s. Now, 2023 will see the end of the statute of limitations for criminal and civil causes of action. It will be celebrated as a boon to victim jurisprudence, while due process, pre-accusatory delay, and constitutional speedy trial are demolished. So that's going to be a great subject of debate, and we can talk about that later on. How about this? You see this doctor prescribes ketamine to thousands online. It's legal. 2023 will see all forms of drug use and abuse and overuse and overdose will be allowed, legal and encouraged. Not out of some libertarian reconsideration of punitive drug restrictions, but the systematic desire to destroy all levels of participatory civilization. You destroy a civilization by making everybody stoned, drunk, alcoholic, drug addict, drug addicted. You're going to see increases in suicide and whatever. Here's one about after an $18 trillion rout, global stock faces more hurdles in 2023. 2023 will see the continued unraveling of world economic systems. The Great Reset will unravel and unfurl at levels incomprehensible. This is not a hiccup or a glitch or some monetary correction. This is the beginning of the orchestrated end, so hold your breath. Workers and internal memos reveal why Southwest melted down. 2023 will see the continued collapse of international travel, civil locomotion, collective peregrination, and the discontinuance of the peripatetic citizen. Shadow government overlords want you home in your makeshift prison pods. Welcome, Agenda 2023. 2023 will also see the beginning of the end for the ideological structure of the Catholic Church. You'll see embrace the new form of demented doctrine representing a complete abandonment of doctrinal ideology. Watch for changes as to contraception, same-sex marriage, and pederasty. Next, 2023, we'll see the news and information platform mimic the black hole, an intellectual sewer vortex where interesting and relevant and fascinating thoughts are sucked down the drain, only never to be seen again. You're about to experience stupid in colors never thought impossible. Big new band I want to form, Cretans Clearwater Revival. Think about it. Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters died at 93. I remember I was talking to you about Barbara Walters because we're hearing things. And of course, not to mention Barbara Walters, but you would be surprised the people who die way at different times than you think. But Barbara Walters is from a distant universe. A distant universe of news, presenters whom you will never see again, nor would ever understand if someone of her ilk reappeared. Today, we are a society of demented podcasters and choreographed histrionics delivered by Boeotians. Here's it for you. Putin suffering megalomania brought on by cancer drugs. There is no idea or hypothesis as to Vladimir Putin that cannot or will not be published in today's psychedelic sock puppet news media. You could reference lycanthropy and claim he's a sorcerer from a parallel dimension, and no one would bat an eye. Yeah, well, probably so. Did you see this Benedict Cumberbatch? Yes, sir. Barbados targets Hollywood star Benedict Cumberbatch's family. Benedict Cumberbatch's family being order to pay reparations to Barbados for a slave plantation on the island in the 18th and 19th century is an idea so ludicrous and insane that it just might fly. Brace yourself, Alexander Hamilton descendants. Here's one for you. Astrologers. Astrologer reveals what to expect in 2023. Astrology represents man's continued inability to understand the cruel reality of randomness and event entropy. By the way, my sign, feces. Pope Benedict XVI dies. Okay, here's one you're not going to understand. He was known as J.P. Deuce's pit bull. He posed an existential threat to priests who preyed on children. And interesting. I think I put prayed. Interesting. I used prayed, P-R-A-Y-E-D. Interesting. That was interesting. That was a interesting a pun. This is terrible to say. But he actually was not what people think he was. They do not understand what he was and what he represented. People don't understand it. They think they understand, but they don't. They think they know about the Catholic Church, but they don't. They think they know about the Jesuits especially, but they don't. They have no earthly idea. But it's part of this kind of this collective thing that people in our group think they understand, like DARPA and HARP and things like that. Okay, in 2023, I hope that the GOP in particular understands that it has collapsed as a political party and has in effect allowed every horror that we are experiencing today without lifting a finger to recalibrate and readdress the world. 2023 will usher in a new and exciting and daring revolution in political and governmental thought. I simply cannot live through another boring replication of 2022 with the same people and same thoughts and same simplistic idiocy. Who were the GOP stars of 2023? Nobody. Let me see this. Yes. Oh, here we go. Home Depot co-founder says socialism killed motivation to work. You see, this is the simplistic blather, from many people who represent the conservative faction of this. These are people who really don't have any clue as to Marxism, Marxian ideology, none of that stuff. And what's going to happen is simply this, and in a very, very wonderful way of kind of reviewing this. Number one, nothing is going to change. There is no GOP. The Republican of today has been told, watch your TV show. This is your TV show. This is it. See, unlike sports, sports fans want to see games. That's what they want to do. They really don't care about NFL front office. They want to see the game. Show them the game and they're happy. Republicans really don't know what they want to do, but they live in this celebration of their worldview. And they love obvious stuff. They love to hear this. And we're going to win because with God's help, who gives up. Great. I'm not saying that's not true. That doesn't help me. With all due respect. God, you can jump in any time and correct this path, but I think God's going to say, no. You go ahead. If you want to fix it, you fix it. Free will, baby. This is who we deal with. I am getting so sick and tired of people always trying to tell me, oh, God's with us. Okay. I want a little more than that. That's fine. But that's not what I'm. There is no GOP. You have nothing. You have, again, and I'm going to say this in a very nice way. If you're watching this, most probably you or somebody who reacts to things, you don't do anything. You have to set the table every single day for your news world. I don't know about you, but I like Spotify. I don't even know if Pandora's if anybody cares anymore, but Spotify is it. And I have music that I pick. The idea of going to a radio, the idea of going to some goofy, Elvis Duran or something, I mean, God bless him, but I mean, that's over with. That's just done. Well, same thing goes for news. You should pick it. But most of the time, you don't know it because you sit back and you let them tell you. Like right now, this Idaho murder suspect? I'd hold off on that. Just wait a second. Just wait a little bit. They're jumping on it because we live in this big, I love this, we're into a true crime now. Everybody's a true crime expert, so that's that. But you're being told what to say. They tell you, and you react accordingly. You do. You react. This isn't stuff you think is interesting. They tell you this. You will talk about George Santos to an extent, or maybe not, I don't know. But this year, you've got to say, no, I'm doing this. I'm going to create my playlist, my concern. I'm going to educate myself. I'm not going to let Fox News or whoever these people are tell me what's important. I don't care anymore. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to worry about. I'm so tired of this nonsense about this January 6th business and Trump losing 2020 and Kerry Lake. Enough. Do you understand there comes a time when you say enough? We need a new and important world. Let me give you an idea. Last night, Mrs. Ellen and I are traveling in the Yugo. It's a stretch. We saw a first sign ever that says turtle crossing. I thought that was interesting. I took a picture. Turtle crossing. It was a sign. So, I didn't see any, but. So we're listening to some various lectures on the way back about cosmology and the enormity of the universe, and it's just wonderful. And my favorite is quantum mechanics and how that came about from Bohr and whatever the 20s, and how Niels Bohr and Einstein. It was somebody who said, we're going to do something brand new. We're going to look at little subatomic particles in a way that nobody's ever thought of. Einstein was great for big things, planet and gravity and light and things like that. But when it comes to quantum mechanics, and we're going to come up with things like this. Like we don't know where, you can't really measure an electron until you look at it, because it's a wave until you look at it, and things like that. We don't know where it is, Schrodinger's cat, blah, blah, blah. And this new wild world. And it was resisted, but now it's considered. And string theory, forget it. String theory only works if there are 11 different dimensions. 11. Not 3D, not 4D, 11. Think about that. It's mind-boggling. That's what we need in American politics. We need somebody to come along and say, all right, stop, scrap this, change the record. And we have to say goodbye to a lot of the simpletons who clog up the discussion plumbing with this stupid nonsense that they provide. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but it's true. We deal with simpletons. We deal with people who just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what I don't know. I don't recognize, I don't know who these people are. I don't know. I feel like Max Planck, and I'm looking at I don't even know what the analogy is. We need to start off. We just don't understand it. They don't understand what's going on with the Vatican. They don't understand what's going on with GOP. They don't understand about the Great Reset, about Klaus Schwab, about what's going on. They still believe in this Democrat-Republican thing, which doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. We need not only a new theory, a new party, a new everything, but we need new participants. We need new blood. because the people who are involved in the conversational platforms of today are idiotic. Idiotic. And at every level. I'm going to say something right now. The people, we were off to a good start, sort of, regarding children's rights and child predation. And they have been taken over by groups of people, please forgive me, who want to be stars or something. And they want to talk about, they're just destroying the entire subject matter. The world is not Democrat and Republican. It's not conservative. If you think communism, if you think we fear communism, if that's your communism, if you think that China is a problem because they're communist, if you're trying to recalibrate and reinvigorate this kind of a HUAC, McCarthy stuff, there's no hope for you. And if you want to spend your time talking about drag queens, I told you yesterday what I would do. And if you missed it, I'm going to tell you again. This is how stupid, I'm going to say it, this is how stupid the right wing is. If I represented the left, or whoever these people are, again, these names, I don't even know the left, the Democrats, whoever. I'm going to say, I'm going to do something. I'm going to go to a small town, to a local high school, and I'm going to create a story that may or may not be true, let's say it is, of how this one town wants to rename the name of this school, Thomas Jefferson High School, whatever, to John Waters, remember Hairspray and Divine and, cross-dressing, a divine, named after a divine. I want to shut down the football team because it's too binary, too heteronormative. I'll come up with something. And I want to put in there, I want to have drag queens as cheerleaders. We're going to see this now. I want to have trans teachers. And I just want to do this, okay? Now, why do I want to do this? I want to do this because, like a cat chasing a laser, the right will go crazy and will run to this story like you can't believe, run to it, and will just be so enthralled. It will do everything possible to talk about it. You'll have great people like Libs of TikTok. You'll be Tucker Carlson will talk about it. You'll have Tulsi Gabbard. She'll be talking about how this violates our sense of order. And you will love it. And you will focus on it. And you'll say, did you see this? And you'll send each other tweets and videos. And it will. Meanwhile, the Democrats are saying, or whoever they are, shadow government, they're saying, they did it again. They fell for it again. We throw out these red herrings and they go right to it. That's all they think about. Very simple, very easy to understand. Drag queen, they love this stuff. And did you see what happened? Did you see what they had? They used to have a whole thing about taking God out of the prayer and all that. That's not it. If it's simple, if it's base, if it's real easy, they love it. Anything about Ukraine? Nothing. Nothing. Anything happened with the JFK files? Nothing. There was a story about the 9/11 families wanted to sue Saudi Arabia. Anything about that? Nothing. Anything from Tucker? No. No. Even UFOs they can't talk about without simplifying it. That's who you are. And you're going to fall for it the next one. And the next story. And the next story. Throw in Greta Thunberg. Greta? Yeah, because Greta's a genius. Watch what they do with Greta. Watch her. I'm telling you. She's great. Greta, come here. We got this. You're going to be the Don Rickles of the carbon set. I want you to say this. Okay. Say something about, did you hear what she's talking about? Micropenility? She's got quite the saucy mouth on her, this Greta Thunberg. And you know what? You fell for it. You fall for it all the time. I'm sorry, hate to tell you this, but you love this stuff. You can't get enough of it. It's very, very simple. So anyway, so that is that. Now, all I'm going to say, very, very simply, is simply this. This is the only thing I'm going to say. If you want to know about our regular sponsors, please, there's a provision below where you can go. But I will tell you this, on January 14th at the Cutting Room in New York City, if you like different kinds of thinking, if you care, if you like to think, meet fellow travelers, to use that term, to ask questions, to be involved in the only immersive give and take that nobody is doing. It's almost like there's no name for it. I don't know what you're going to call it. It's not stand-up. It's not that. That's it. Cutting Room, January 14th. Okay? You got that? Now, very quickly, let me tell you this much. I want you to also, very quickly, sign up for my newsletter. Oh, I've got some buttes. They're coming. Sign up for that. There, we got that one. I as you can see, I went ahead with this stuff. You must follow Lynn's Warriors and sign up for her newsletter. Oh my God, they're so good. There we go. Because believe me when I tell you this, somebody at Twitter must have something about we don't want people who are trying to protect children to thrive. If you're these other phony balonies, yeah, no problem. But that's it. Also, I want you to make a note of this. I want you to go and sign up specifically for the Lynn's Warriors YouTube channel right there for that link. How about that? And as I told you, if you like what I'm doing, and don't give me this, I don't like Twitter. Get used to it. That's the way people are talking. By the way, Elon is still in charge. As I told you, he's not going anywhere, but you believed it. In any event, that's me right there. My friends, have a very safe and a glorious New Year's Eve. Please don't drink and drive. You might hit a bump, spill your drink. Not a good idea. Stay home, if at all possible. It's raining right now. Did it stop raining? Today, these folks are getting ready to attend the New York Times Square New York Eve, which neither I nor Mrs. L have ever been. There, physically. I do not know why people go there, but the fact that people still like to meet, I think, is a good sign in many respects. In any event, have a great and glorious day. See you tomorrow for January 1st, 2023. Here we go again. Thank you for all of your support and your help this year. Thank you for being not only who you are, but what you appear to be. And we will see you tomorrow again. And remember this, valedictory. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.